At first glance, this courtroom session feels routine. But in reality, it's packed with critical legal decisions. We're seeing multiple defendants, each entering no contest pleas, which legally carry the same weight as a guilty plea. That means no trial, no challenge, just immediate consequences. But here's the twist. Many of these pleas are based on lack of memory or circumstances like intoxication. So the real question is this accountability or just moving cases forward quickly?
Okay, come in.
John James Schaefer.
So he's gonna plead, why is he pleading no contest?
There's recollection, he was intoxicated.
Okay. So it's lack of memory?
Correct.
So they're going to dismiss. They're going to dismiss the disorderly public intoxication. Excuse me. If he pleads no contest to resist and obstruct, right?
Correct.
If you plead no contest to resist and obstruct, it has the same effect as a guilty plea. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
And based on your lawyer's representation, I'm going to take this as a no contest plea because of a lack of memory. The possible penalties are up to 500 fines, 90 days jail. Costs are all those. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your
Did
Honor.
you sign, read, and understand the advice of rights?
Yes, sir.
If you plead no contest, you'll be giving up all those rights, and there will be no hearing or trial. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. You stipulate I can use the police report to establish a factual basis? Would you mark that, Sadie? To that charge of resist and obstruct an officer, how many of that mark people's one? To the charge of resist and obstruct an officer, how do you plead?
No contest.
All right, I'm going to review the report, but I will indicate there is an agreement that he pay restitution, correct?
And it's not so much restitution, Judge, it was a, because of Mr. Schaefer's condition at the time, he had urinated in the actual cell and they needed to bring in hazmat to sterilize the cell.
This is where things get more serious. The defendant agrees to pay nearly $485, not as a fine, but to cover cleanup costs after damaging a holding cell. Legally, this falls under restitution, paying for actual harm caused. But notice how quickly the process moves. No trial, no dispute, just acceptance and moving forward. At the same time, the judge imposes restrictions like no drugs or alcohol, while still allowing medical exceptions. So ask yourself, is this fair efficiency or too rushed?
No, but I'm just, okay, but he's agreeing to pay $485.
Correct, yeah, it's part of the restitution to the police department.
And you understand and agree to that?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to ask you again, to the charge resist and obstruct an officer, how do you plead?
No contest.
All right, I've had the report marked Peoples 1. I'm going to review it. Are you on probation or parole?
No, sir.
Anybody force you to plead no contest?
No, sir.
All right, I'm going to accept your plea. I find it to be an accurate plea made voluntarily and understanding. I'm going to go ahead and dismiss the disorderly public intox. There's $485 in restitution on the no contest. I'm going to refer you for a screening and assessment. You're going to be screened and assessed today, and you'll be sentenced at a later time. No alcohol, no marijuana, no illegal drugs. You understand that?
Yeah, last time I was here, I have my medical marijuana.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to quarrel with that. I can't change that. So you won't be violated. You won't be violated if you test positive for THC, as long as you have a valid card
I do.
and you provide proof of that. So you can show that to probation. We're going to give you a screening. You're going to fill out a questionnaire and be interviewed today, and then you'll come back for sentencing, and the sentencing will be on what day, Heather?
That'll be April 8th at 8:30.
8:30, okay? So go down the hall, get your notice, go over to probation, fill out a questionnaire and be interviewed. Good luck. Wilson, Shane Michael Wilson, the second, 233-143-763.
Good morning, Judge. Nice to get on behalf of Mr. Wilson.
All right, Mr. Wilson, your name?
No, Lord Wilson.
Is this still going to be a pleaded reckless driving?
Correct.
It's a no contest plea because of,
Judge, the recollection. I apologize for Mr. Wilson's civil liability. My apologies, Judge. He did.
he had a parked car.
He had a parked car and he also went up on the grass of a residential house. But there was no alcohol, though.
All right. If you plead no contest, and we cover this with you again, this is punishable by up to 500 fines, 93 days jail, costs are all of those, 6 points, your license will be suspended. I think it's 90 days, but it could be 120 days by the Secretary of State. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Did you sign the advice of rights? Did you read it and understand it? If you plead no contest, you'll be giving up all those rights and we're not going to have a trial. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And you stipulate I can use the police report to establish a factual basis?
Yes.
Can you mark this again? I'm sorry. To the charge of reckless driving, how do you plead?
No contest.
All right, I'm having the report marked Peoples 1. All right. Based on my review of the report, I find there's a factual basis for the plea. The victim has the right to appear and make a claim. I don't need a pre-sentence report. Make sure that we notify Heather, please, the victim. I'm accepting your plea to reckless driving. You are not on probation or parole, correct?
No, sir.
And nobody's forced you to plead no contest?
No, sir.
I'm just going to set a sentence date. We'll notify the victims. What do you have for me, Heather?
That will also be April 8th, and we can do 8:30.
At 8. This isn't good. Go down the hall, get your notice. Good luck. Webb, Andrew Joseph Webb.
Good morning, Judge.
I'm sorry, let me finish this. It's Andrew Joseph Ellis Webb, 26B82402A. Okay. Go ahead.
Good morning, Judge. Mazzigan, and that Mr. Webb, Mr. Webb, say full name. Andrew Webb.
So he's going to plead to a no contest too. Is this through the possibility of civil litigation?
Correct.
And that's going to be under section 771.1, correct?
Correct.
So if you plead no contest, sir, I do want you to understand again, and you're going to plead, it says, to the Animal Violation Vicious Act. If you plead to that, that has the same effect as a guilty plea. It's punishable by up to 500 fines, 90 days jail, costs are all those. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, can you mark that one too? All right. And you did sign and read and understand an advice of rights form today. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
If you plead no contest, you'll be giving up all those rights and we're not going to have a hearing or a trial. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And again, you stipulate I can use the police report to establish a factual basis. True?
Yes.
All right. To that charge, animal violation, vicious act. How do you plead?
No contest.
All right. I've had the report marked Peoples 1. I'm going to review. All right. Based on my review of the report, I find there's a factual basis for the plea. Ooh, looks like quite a bite. I'm not going to order a pre-sentence report. I'll accept the plea, sentence date, notify victim again, okay, Heather? You're not on probation or parole?
No.
Anybody force you to plead no contest?
No.
Please accept it. We'll notify the victim. I'll give you a sentence date. We can do April 8th again if you'd like, Heather,
Yes, that works, Judge.
at 8:30. Okay, sir? So, you're gonna have to notify the victim. They can come in and claim restitution, but I'm accepting that plea to animal violation, no contest.
That also as part of the plea, there were some other civil infractions that were paid. So we've talked to the prosecutor and she's got no objection if the court would set aside, those two civil
Do I
infractions.
need to do that? Can you just do that, Heather? Dismiss the dog at large and the no dog license?
And then carry over the payment to this case.
Yeah. Can you do that for me?
Yes, Judge.
And then can you tell me how much the bond is? And I'm gonna make it a cash bond on this case. I should say how much the payment is. This was a personal bond, but he paid the other.
I believe there was $450 paid in total on this.
Yeah, I think 450. Well,
So I'm gonna go ahead and dismiss the dog at
He
large.
paid, so he paid 135 on one of them. And then 135 on the other, on the B and C.
So it looks like 270 then.
Yes.
By the end, we see a clear pattern. Multiple cases resolved through no contest pleas, each leading to sentencing later. The judge ensures every defendant understands their rights and consequences. Legally, this keeps the system efficient while maintaining due process. We also see flexibility, like allowing travel for work and adjusting bond conditions. The lesson? The court moves fast, but every decision matters. So what do you think? Efficient justice or too quick? If you found this case as shocking as we did, like, share, and subscribe for more courtroom analysis.
I think that's correct.
Okay, 270 cash is the bond. Make sure you dismiss files pursuant to STIP, dismiss the other two files. Dog at large and no license, no dog license.
Additionally, Mr. Webb does work out of state, on certain job projects. We asked the court to allow him to leave the state for employment purposes.
Where do you go, sir?
I mean, I could be traveling anywhere, Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee.
Okay, I'll just make a note here. Can leave state for employment purposes without consent, okay? Can leave state for employment without consent. And I'm modifying that bond as of today, March the 19th. Okay? Anything else?
That's it.
Go down the hall, get your notice, sir, and we'll